Hi everyone, and welcome to this video as part of the series of looking for classes in Salamanca to put together your direct matriculation study proposal. So in our last video, I talked about the differences between the US undergraduate degree on one hand and the Spanish grado on the other. Now that you have that important background information, we're ready to move along and start looking for classes using what's called a Plan de Estudios at the Universidad de Salamanca. So a Plan de Estudios is basically a list of every single class that makes up a degree program, and those classes are listed in the exact order that your Spanish peers are going to be taking them. And that is the place that you need to start in order to start putting together your study proposal. But first, we need to cover some important vocabulary so that you can be able to understand what you're reading. A curso is an academic year. So primer curso is freshman year, segundo curso is sophomore year, etc., etc. And just as in the US, a Spanish undergraduate degree is a 4-year program. ECTS is a European Credit Transfer System. So basically, European Credit Unit. And just to give you an idea of the scale, a 3-credit Georgetown class is equivalent to somewhere between 4.5 and 6 ECTS. Do remember that for a full-time load, you need 25 to 30 ECTS on your class schedule. And asignatura is a class or a course, and USAL is another acronym, and it stands for Universidad de Salamanca. Okay, so now that we looked at that vocabulary, we're ready to start looking for planes de estudios. We're going to access the USAL website through your program brochure, because there is a direct link to grados there. And the concrete example that I'm going to use in order to show you how the process works is political science. It does not matter if you're not interested in political science classes, the process is the same for every single grado at the USAL. Okay, so let's get into the website, the program brochure. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down, you're going to click on academics, and then under academics in course load, you are going to see this link to the areas of study at the USAL. It says USAL Facultades. You're going to click there, and that will bring you into the USAL website, where you are going to scroll down to Todos, okay, which is going to bring you to Todos los grados, or all of the undergraduate degrees at the USAL. Click on that. And you're going to scroll down through the doble titulación because those are double majors and you cannot register in those. This list of links is in alphabetical order, so Ciencia Política y Administración Pública is at the top of the list. We're going to click there. And then to find the Plan de Estudios, you're going to go over to the left-hand side here. It's always there in the middle. Click on Plan de Estudios, which will pull you up a PDF link, and you're going to click on that, and there we go. I really like the fact that these are PDFs because it means that you can just, any degree that you're interested in, you can just save it on your computer and you don't have to go back through the website again. Okay, so as we look at this Plan de Estudios, you can see it's exactly what I told you. It is a list of year by year. So primer curso you have here, you have segundo curso, you have tercer curso, etc. And each curso or year is broken up into semesters. So primer semestre, segundo semestre, tercer semestre, cuarto semestre, etc. The left-hand side is always going to be fall semester, and the right-hand side is always going to be spring semester. So in terms of the information you have on this document, you can see that you have the asignaturas for each semester, the class names one by one. You have the ECTS or credits that correspond to each class, and you also have the tipo de asignatura, the kind of class. So FB stands for Formación Básica, which is a required class. Not for you, but for your Spanish peers. OB stands for obligatoria, which is also a required class. And then if we scroll down through all of the primer curso, segundo curso, tercer curso, we can see that all of the classes in political science are obligatory or required classes until we get to the last semester, which is the spring of senior year. And you can see that you have OPE, which is optativas. So where are those optativas? They're not listed here. What we've got to do is scroll down and you have asignaturas optativas in the bottom of the document. Okay, as you can see, different from the required classes, these optativas are worth anywhere between 3, 4.5, 6 credits. So they vary a lot more. Okay, so speaking of optativas, that brings me to an important point, which is that you need to be very careful to choose classes that are only in the semester that you are coming to Salamanca. In the specific case of political science, which is not going to be the case in all degrees, every degree is set up with a different structure, but in the specific case of political science, for example, that would mean that you are not going to be putting down any optativas or electives on your study plan if you're coming in fall, because those electives are only given in spring. Okay, so to sum up, we've seen a lot of information in this video. We've looked at where you can find the PDFs for the Planes de Estudios, which is which has a lot of important information for you. The important information being the list of classes and the degrees, the number of ECTS that corresponds to that class, which as we know is important because you need a full-time load here in Salamanca. It will tell you the year it is offered in. Is it first year, second year, third year? And that is important because it gives you an idea of the level of the class where, you know, a third year class is going to be more sophisticated and require more knowledge than a first year class. And that allows you to kind of pull up the classes or zoom in on the classes that are more in accordance with your particular level of knowledge on that subject. It also gives you the semester offered, important because you want to choose classes only that correspond to the semester that you're going to be here in Salamanca. So in our next video, I am going to get more class specific and I'm going to look at where you can find programas de clase, which is approximately translatable as syllabus. So it's really important to look not just at the Planes de Estudio and write down a list of classes based on name, but to drill down a little bit more and see if that class, the contents of that class are what you want, and also if the level of difficulty corresponds to you, to what your knowledge is. In that case, what you're going to do is look at prerequisites. Okay, so thanks for watching y hasta el próximo video.